Fellas, I just did something. I did something that affects Twitch chat. I'm not gonna tell you what it was. But Twitch chat, I did something. Something you guys will be happy about once you find it. But I will not say it aloud. Because if I bring attention to it, I'm gonna have to get rid of it again. Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisies. I don't know, does that plea come with fucking 5 golden keys as well? Might be talking then. The 5 golden keys might do it, you know? Anyways, how's it going, fellas? How's it going, fellas? We okay, so it seems so I've been save quit farming. Raz has found it. Raz has found it. You guys have to be good with it or it goes away again. All right? You guys have to be good. Where did my music just go? Hold on. I accidentally paused and then it wouldn't let me unpause it. What the fuck was I saying? I completely lost my fucking train of thought. They really give out keys? Yeah, I got 5 golden keys. Tired of coming to I'm tired of coming to the defensive Gearbox. Borderlands 4 is mid. 6, maybe 7 at best. Oh! That's kind of where I'm at with it too. I mean, like, ignoring all of the fucking issues that has happened with this game. The game itself, like, it's not bad. I think it's a good game. It is an above average game, but I think I land exactly in like the 6.5 out of 10. But also what I was saying was I've started save quit farming Willis because it's faster than doing the run back. The reason I wasn't before is because what just happened there where it booted me back outside of the DLC. I think that's only when you full quit out of the game, it would seem. Because I did not have that happen while I was save quitting. Oh, that was almost bad. But yeah, I guess if you close the game, you have to go back into it. No, I have not gotten the crow source yet. You guys want to see what I'm at with the crow source? Hold on. I did some off-stream farming. DLC was pretty enjoyable overall. I just didn't like the main story. With the DLC as well, I think I would give it a solid, like, 6 or... I mean, yeah, between 6 and 7. Haha. The main story sucked dick. I think the main story writing was actually ass to the point where not even I could ignore how ass it was. Yeah, we're at 276. 276. The main story writing was shit, but all of the side quests are really fun. I think all the environments are really cool. The bosses are great, and all the gear is dope. What also lowers the overall rating for me is the fact that the new endgame activity that we got is literally just a rift bubble, but more annoying. But, I don't know. Overall, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. It's definitely upsetting that this is only one of the 2 major story DLCs that we're getting. Because it's gonna feel really bad if the second one ends up being, like, really good. And we're like, okay, so they finally hit their stride with the second one, but it's the only other one that we're getting, so, shucks. DLC finally works. Yeah, after 98 hours. If you want a full breakdown of what happened, I just uploaded a follow-up video to my last one today. Like it went up 30 minutes ago. Oh fuck. I keep doing this. I keep doing this. I'm gone. I'm dead. I'm dead. Saw the Borderlands movie out of 10. It's got so fucking tiring doing defense for Borderlands 4 compared to BL3 and especially 2. It's mid. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Gearbox makes it really difficult to try and defend this game. They make it difficult to even enjoy this game. It feels like they go out of their way at every turn to make the people that are trying to stick it out with this fucking game, make their lives harder, and to try to push them away more and more. DLC is fine, but Guns, Love, and Tentacles did it better. Atmosphere especially is better in Guns, Love, and Tentacles. Yeah, that's like the thing, is it's literally just the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC, but redone. Like, one for one, it's the same story. It's using the same allegories. It's the same shit. It just doesn't set up the stakes or anything about the characters that we're supposed to be caring about nearly as well as Guns, Love, and Tentacles did. On impact. Whoops. Yeah, so what's funny is when you save quit farm him, that orb takes you all the way back outside of the portal. When you save quit on him, oh fuck, what button does what? That's up. I changed my keybinds again. Two story expansions is not enough, especially when it's only 3 hours for the main story. I'm pretty sure you can beat the main story in like an hour. It took me 3 hours on stream to beat the main story, and that was literally with me like pausing here and there to fucking yap about other shit and really taking it slow. I'm pretty sure I could cut that time in like half. I think the actual substance of the main story is like an hour and a half. At most. Maybe 2. I still need to do my fucking... I was on impacting. I still need to do my solo playthrough of it, where I will see how long or how fast I'm able to beat it. I'm gonna do that before I make my overall review of the DLC. But yeah, no, it's very, very short. I think you're just getting incredibly unlucky. I think it just doesn't scale. I feel this seems obscenely unlucky at this point. Unless it's a 0.6% chance, then this is less unlikely. Is it safe to call BL4 a flop yet? Oh, it's been safe to call BL4 a flop. You look at player counts and it's been flopping. Shit's floppier than me when I run out of blue pills. My gas station penis pills. God, why? Ah! I keep forgetting to go to fucking sticky. That's all I'm saying. It's annoying about safe quit farming. I have to press another button. I got hand cannon from Stone Demon after like 50-ish runs. Yeah, I think like 50 to 70 is apparently the average for 0.9%. I'm sitting here at the same fucking odds apparently, and I'm at 279 for a single one. I think that this just is not getting UVH scaling. We're going back to the Stone Age of farming with this one. I wouldn't even mind it Like, I would not mind having put fucking almost 300 runs into this motherfucker, if not for the fact that it's so long. It is such a long farm. What gun is that? This is the Shoot and Scoot. Probably the best sticky applicator in the game now. Finally, something has beaten the, what's it called? The hard point. Which, I mean, granted, I think the, I don't know, I see a lot of people saying that the hand cannon was better stickies than the hard point, but I don't know if I ever really felt that. I'm in the minority thinking that the hard point was still better than the hand cannon, from what I can tell. But I don't know, at least on Vex, I still felt like the hard point was winning out. I'm gonna vent this stream. Borderlands 4 has no Pandora, no interesting planets, only Kairos, which sucks ass compared to Pandora. Yeah, it's just really boring. That's why I'm glad that this DLC at least did really well on the environments. It feels like with this, they've kind of more so figured out how to open world. But I don't know if they figured out how to open world so much as they're just pulling from their already existing knowledge of how to make instance zones, because this is a pretty small map still. Like, compared to Kairos, at least, this is a relatively small map. Hand cannon from TPS? Was there a gun called the hand cannon in TPS? Is the hand cannon from TPS? I think you're thinking of the Omni cannon. There's the Omni cannon and the Luck cannon. Oh yeah, that's the Luck cannon. No, the hand cannon in this game, you want to see what the hand cannon is? It's not a hand cannon. It's called the hand cannon. It is not a hand cannon. Which So, it's the Echo, actually, is what it is. It's straight up the Echo from BL3. That's the hand cannon. Does Vex have a new class mod in this DLC? She does. I can show you it. It's really good for the skill it can roll, but apparently the actual effect of it is mid to ass. Even though I think it sounds cool. I feel like it has potential, but I haven't played around with it personally yet. Where the fuck was it? Did I bank it? I might have banked it. Oh no, here it is. The configuration. When Vex activates an action skill or command skill, open a Blood Rift for a duration, having a max of 2 at a time. They rapidly fire remnant minions, dealing kinetic gun damage based on your current weapon when swapped. The big thing is that this is able to roll Dead Wire, which I think at 10 out of 5 goes up to like 900% fucking gun damage or some shit. I popped those a little late. Every time I farm him, I have to get back into the swing of fucking getting through his immunity. The effect can kill trash mobs. Also, the effect itself can trigger dead wire. You see, it doesn't sound bad to me. I always thought that sounded pretty solid, especially because it says it works depending on your gun. Like, I imagine if you put a fucking ordnance in your hand, then it'll probably hit kind of hard. 900% gun reference, or gun damage, cash reference? No. Cash reference is 4,000% gun damage. Too early. Gearbox just took Borderlands 3 and made an actually good story and expanded on the planet travel of 3 it would succeed. I think that was the original intention. I think they just had to, I think they not that they had to. I think they just decided to go back on that with how the story of 3 was received. Because they said, like, from the launch of 3 that 3 was intended, I didn't save quit. 3, the intention of 3 was just to open up the universe and get people used to moving outside of Pandora and shit, which to me sounds like they intended planet travel to kind of just be a thing. It doesn't sound like they intended to go from traveling multiple planets and expanding the universe to, let's go hang out on a single planet again. Cash's damage can go that high? Hold on, let me show you a screenshot that I saw. Cash is disgusting. Cash is the single most fucked character they have literally ever released into this franchise. Yeah, here we go. So this is Cash. This here is a thing that Cash can do. It's going good, Katie. Welcome, brother. How's it going, A9? Holy shit. Yeah, that's Cash. You get 4,000 gun damage, 2,000 melee damage, 2,000 skill damage. It's just chill like that. Just chill like that. Messed up 3 badly. Eden 6 kills my desire to play through the game again. Dude, I love Eden 6. I fucking... Eden 6 is genuinely my favorite section of BO3. Kyrus is one of the most uninteresting planets out there. Some of the environments are cool, but Pandora just did it better. I mean, literally, the Fade Fields is like the only new environment that we've seen. We've seen Terminus and fucking, what is the other one? Tarcadia. Both of those exist as environments on Pandora, and then we kind of saw the city area with Promethea, but literally all of those areas did that style of shit better. Pacing of Eden 6 was horrible, let's be fair. I mean, I'm being fair to what my opinion is. I really do not mind Eden 6 at all. There's not a single problem that I have with Eden 6. I'll acknowledge that that is, again, an unpopular opinion, but I've never understood many of the complaints personally. I think the environments are great. I think the enemy types that kind of show up there are fucking fantastic. I think the length of it really isn't that... It's not much worse than Pandora. Pandora's the same length as Eden 6. Eden 6 at least kind of has a lot of lore stuff that happens on it, which keeps me interested. I think that's kind of, actually, you know what? I think that is the difference. Because I think Hollow Lock also likes Eden 6. I mean, obviously, but they're also kind of more of a lore head that appreciates the overarching narratives of the game. And I think that's where Eden 6 really shines, is Eden 6 has a lot of stuff that plays into, like, the overall narrative of the game and a lot of the overall lore of the game. And so I think people that kind of tend to care about that stuff more probably like it more. People, if you're not super interested in that, I can definitely see why you might not be into it as much. Eden 7 when? Eden 7 is where Gage is from, right? I'm pretty sure Eden 7, there's some Eden 7 in here. Fade fields are such a fresh air compared to the environments we had over the years. I mean, the Fade fields are the only unique environment to Kairos. I'm still not a huge fan of them. I think it's a neat thing to see in this universe. More of like a greenery area. The issue is the execution of it. I think it's still really bland, just because I think Gearbox was not prepared to make an open world game. Problem with Eden 6 is the first 3 levels are so much better than the last 3. Jacob's Estate is one of my favorite Borderlands levels. Gage is from Eden 5. I know she's from one of the Edens. I can't remember exactly which one. You might be right. It was like 63% of the game takes place on Eden 6. Everything else is much quicker, sometimes even a straight line with a few minor angle changes. See, that's the part where I really don't get it. Because I would say, at most, it's probably like 40% of the game is Pandora, 40% of the game is Eden 6, and then like 10% of it is... or 20% of it is, Promethea and Athenas and Necrotafeo. Like, I really don't think Eden 6 takes up that much more time than Pandora. And if anything, I think Pandora does take up more time than Eden 6. But no, see, the thing to keep in mind with me talking about this as well is I have played the game a lot. I have done a lot of runs of BL3. I have 5,000 hours in that game. I've blitzed through every single area as fast as possible multiple times. So I'm like, my perception definitely may be skewed because I don't really take my time in these areas at this point. Even during my first playthrough, I don't ever remember minding it. But like at the current state, I'm like, it's been a while since I've kind of just sat there and done side missions in each area and shit. So I'm speaking like purely from the perspective of main story. Like, just blitzing the main story. Not doing any side stuff, no side quests, no collectibles, none of that. Pandora feels shorter because Pandora's split between early and late game. I mean, even then, I think the late game Pandora is about the same length as Eden 6. Because early game Pandora, you're not even on Pandora that long. Early game, going slow, you have like maybe 2 hours on Pandora. I do wish Necrotafeo was longer. I don't know if I wish it was longer in the story. I think the length of it during the actual story stuff is cool. I wish there was just more to it, like side content wise. Because I think Necrotafeo has like 3 side quests. that actually take place on it. It would have been cool if there was like some quest lines that took place on it. That like unlocked new areas. Eden 6, the new Tales of Borderlands 3. Don't compare it to that. I agree. Don't. I don't think anything deserves to be compared to New Tales. I don't even think the fucking movie deserves to be compared to New Tales. Eden 6 is really just waiting for Clay to shut up so he can progress to the Jacobs mansion. Dude, I never want Clay to shut up. I fucking love Clay. Clay is my goat. I can't wait for him to return in Story Pack 2 for them to kill him in the first 5 seconds. That's gonna be so fucking cool when they just randomly kill another character that I love that didn't have to be there at all. Was there any references to New Tales in 4? Absolutely none, to my knowledge. I think there's a weapon skin about Franz Frogert. But, I mean, even then, that's kind of originally a reference to 3. ProSource is the Norfleet of this game. I've managed to avoid seeing what it actually does this entire time. I want to learn what it does when it eventually fucking drops. I just know it is an order AR. I hit the wrong button. Motherfucker. Oh god, why did my Twitch chat stop? Or why did it do that? It just stopped auto-scrolling for me. Surely we're gonna real balance match this thing. Wouldn't that be nice? Devil's Razor and Road Dogg area are massive. Gearbox. Yeah, no, so Eden 6, if you're just blitzing story, Eden 6 is 2 hours. Maybe 3 hours. I think I generally get through Eden 6 in like 2 hours. If I'm blitzing it. Because what is it? It's Floodmore Basin, which you don't really do much in. Jacob's Estate. So you go to Floodmore, you go to Anvil. You go back to Floodmore. Does Sunshine take place after Anvil, or is it Jacob's Estate next? I think you meet Clay after Anvil. Then it's... Because then you do... I mean, you get to Archimedes, you kill Archimedes, and then you're pretty much done. Because from Archimedes to Grave Ward, it's like 20 minutes, if that. I think Eden 6 is... God fucking damn it, because I quit the... Yeah, no, I think it's about 2 or 3 hours. Eden 6 is the same length as this DLC. Which, blitzing the campaign of BL3, I think you get it done in like 8 to 10 hours? Which would genuinely put my estimate accurate of my percentages. Where Pandora's 40, Eden 6 is 40, and then Necrodefeo, the other two. Necrodefeo, Athenas, and Promethea are like 20%. 8 to 10? Yeah. Is that too long? Athena's is like 2%. You know, Athena's is fucking tiny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can whip up my streams and time it out exactly what, like, my average playthrough is looking like. Gee, I don't know. I mean, like, going through it casually, I think the estimated time to beat is, like, 19 hours or some shit. Let me see. Let me see what the average time to beat is on that website that's, like, time to beat. How long does it take to beat Borderlands 3? Where is the... Oh, yeah, here we go. How long to beat Borderlands 3? No, where the fuck was it? There we go. Main story is... Oh my god, people go slow with this shit, bro. Holy. Main story... Hold on. This is saying 35 hours for the main story. How slow are these motherfuckers? I mean, the AI says 20 to 30 hours, which I think is accurate. 15 hours? Yeah, I think like somewhere around there is generally if you're just like taking your time with it. I know my first playthrough was 19. I think. It was between 15 to 19 was my first ever playthrough. Yo, congrats on the 5-stream streak, Dynamo. Enjoy your channel points. You can eat those now with no cooldown. The cooldown on ants has been removed as long as everyone behaves. But yeah, no, I think if you rush it, it's like 8 to 10. I mean, the speed run is like 3 hours, which is pretty long for a speed run. You think bundling cash with the story DLC is the right choice? I don't think cash was the right choice. I think from a business decision, yes. I think for Gearbox's sake, it was smart of them to bundle it. But overall, no. I think it was dumb. Are you ever playing Cash? I have played Cash. I got Cash to a UVH6 already, and I've played every fucking build of his already. He's something. He's something. I don't like him. I'll say that much. I'm not a big Cash fan because he's, So, Red Tree and Green Tree, Bone Totems, and Crossfire both effectively just play the game for you. And then Blue Tree is just, like, obscenely broken. And it doesn't matter where you put your... I mean, with any of his trees, it really doesn't matter where the fuck you put your skill points. You kind of just win the game. Cash feels like he was tailor-made for anyone who doesn't want to play the game. Like, if you just do not enjoy using your brain to play the game or think up builds, I think Cash is fantastic for you. That's kind of the part of the games that I very much so enjoy, though. And I think, he's not for me. Top 5 shotguns in the BL series? That's a hard one. I mean, Conference Call's gotta be up there. Both the BL2 and BL3 variant, I would put it like the same tier. I think both of them are fucking fantastic. Iconic. Probably same with the Butcher. Creeping Death. For sure, for sure. Hellwalker, of course. Hellwalker's gotta be up there. John double dip. Yeah, that's pretty much cash. More damage for damage. Problems with Cash is that he feels like an afterthought. The only character that calls him by his name is Zane, and only once. Calder doesn't call him an Augur name, just calling him Vault Hunter. I mean, isn't that the case with all of them in 4? I don't think anyone really gets called by their name in 4. At least I don't really remember that. Hope the next balance patch makes melees with Amon's axes get bonuses from action still and still effects, so I am a gun and a honed mind specializations affect the melee attack. That would be smart and probably like actually do something for him, but so that means they aren't going to do that, and instead they're actually just going to give Amon more number adjustments. Did a casual playthrough with the cards. I kind of wish it was more unique. It also feels like Vex's action style you're using now. Yeah, he's literally just better Vex. Like, Vigorish is what prismatic weaponry should be. Like, Cash is literally just made to be better Vex, and then you also don't need to think about anything ever. Oh yeah, the flare! Dude, I forgot about the flare. A fake-up shotgun. Top 5 shotguns and why all of them are the shoddy. Sickle was top 5? Does that count? RJ calls everyone by name repeatedly except Cash. Oh yeah, I guess he does. It's really lame that they couldn't just have them record, what, like 3 more lines? Again, I don't even think most of the game does it that much. Like, it would literally be a few more lines to record. Legendaries at BL4 also feel worse than 3. I have no idea how that's possible, but the Plasma Coil in BL3 feels way better than 4. 4, actually, this is one of the things I really like about this DLC. It feels like they did actually listen to the complaint that a lot of the guns in 4 are just really boring stat sticks, without, like, any real unique effects. This DLC has such amazing fucking weapons and gear. They really stepped their fucking game up with weapon design for this DLC. Like, I mean, this gun here is fucking crazy. I love this thing, the ghost gun. Trevinator's up there. Trevinator's gotta be number 1, dude. I just... It's such a cool thing. It kind of makes me sad that it didn't return in 4. At least not yet. In BL1, the hammer was pretty cool. Is that what it was called? Or am I thinking of the crux? I don't know. One of those was really cool. The bod! Yeah, when's that bod nerf coming, by the way? Didn't they say that was happening? I don't think that's happened yet. Unless I missed it. Which is a very real possibility. Sword Explosion, Carnage, Conference Call, Hellwalker, Garcia. I like seeing the Garcia there. It makes me happy. Why does Crossfire have a lower cooldown than Arc Knives? Dude, Crossfire is literally just what Arc Knives should be. I don't know why Crossfire is allowed to be that broken, but Arc Knives you need to fucking do literally everything for to make them do anything. Arc Knives is fucking pathetic compared to Crossfire. Just do a modern remaster of BL2 and Unreal 5. That way they can redeem themselves. No. Not BL2. They need to do that to the to TPS. And then they need to give it a proper fucking season pass. And actually give us Luxy Space Cruise. At what point is there actually just something wrong? Is it when I hit 300? Flacker as well. Flacker's been consistently very good. The Thug? Dude, there's a lot of really good shotties in this franchise. I feel like narrowing it down to 5 is hard. Give TPS the content it deserves, yeah. And you know, all you have to do with the fucking still trees for TPS, just add augments to them. Like the BL3 style augments. Just throw those on the side of each tree, and then leave everything else as is. I'm telling you, to win with a fucking TPS Unreal remake, it would be the easiest fucking thing Gearbox could do. Still haven't tried the Thug? Dude, you're in for a treat. It's in the same room as the Torrent? Yes, it is. Is Borderlands cooked? I got the feeling that it may have been cooked the second that they started showing that they were taking inspiration from Destiny. Because seeing the father of this fucking genre, the series that birthed and, like, has perfected what a looter shooter is and should be, start taking inspiration from other shittier looter shooters that just happen to be more popular and hold more relevance because they're live service. That was a rough sign. That was a rough sign. And it worried me. Don't remember the name, but remember Blade's Log? It was like 2018 when Destiny was on top and people said that Borderlands is cooked, except Destiny is also cooked. Looter shooters are cooked. I mean, the original Destiny was great.
I don't think so.
Destiny 1 was fucking fantastic. Destiny 2, I liked it originally. I feel like nowadays it's just gotten worse. DPS would have been a fan favorite if they just implemented the farming changes it needed and gave the rest of its content cycle. Yeah, if 2K Australia didn't get fucking taken out back because of that game. I mean, a big problem with TPS as well was just marketing for it. I genuinely think that was probably the single biggest problem, because everything else could have happened eventually had 2K Australia not just been nuked because of the poor performance of that game. It's very difficult. One, the marketing for that game was lacking, as it is. But it's also just very difficult to market a game titled the pre-sequel to people who maybe are new to the franchise. It's not like a mainline numbered sequel where you don't really, like, generally people see a mainline numbered sequel and you're like, okay, I can jump in here. I can take this and I can jump in. When you label a game the pre-sequel, it's like, okay, so am I even gonna know what the fuck is happening if I have not played BL2? It's not a jumping on point. Did BL4 do worse or better than TPS? That's a great question. I know numbers-wise it did better, but I wonder about, like, performance. Did TPS remain relevancy for longer than 4? People think I'm nuts when I say TPS is better than 2. The one bad thing it's not going for it is boring environments. TPS is fucking fantastic. The only thing that is cringe about it is that it did not get the support that it deserved. So it launched to 67,000. It seems like. Yeah, 67,000 all-time peak. That was in September. Over 2 months, it dropped down to 10,000. Oh my god. Wait. Oh my fucking god, fellas. Are you serious? Wait, it drops to 10,000, 5,000, 8,000, 5,000, and then it's down to 2, back up to 8. So it's like content releases. Dude. Dude, hold on. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. I think that's better than... It only lost 5/6 of its player base. In like 2 months. From 300,000... Oh god. Are you fucking serious? Bro. BL4 actually did fucking worse than TPS. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Which Borderlands is the best action stills in general for you? For me, it's a tie between TPS and 3. I would agree. I mean, just action stills and skill trees in general, I think TPS and 3 knocked it out of the park. TPS wins out on trees just by like a little bit, but honestly, it kind of depends on the day for me. I go back and forth on that a lot. Action stills though, yeah, no, I think it's a tie between TPS and 3. I love everything about every action still in those games. They cover such a wide variety, too. Shout out to the 432 Chads playing right now. Dude, honestly, if Firma wasn't gonna release later today, I'd end this stream and go play some TPS. I've been having that itch. CDPR did make a looter shooter. It just didn't go super well. Have you seen the issue that Daphne doesn't spawn in during the DLC playthrough if you get her, or if you get to her spot quick enough, just breaks the entire DLC for that character? That's so cool. That's fucking awesome. God, I'm so glad that these things are getting patched in a timely manner. Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 was effectively a looter shooter. It wasn't like majority a looter shooter, but I think it has enough elements that it can be considered a looter shooter. Just not a great one. I'm not saying it's not a good game. Did not fail. I mean, didn't it, like, do very poorly at launch because it was filled with problems and effectively launched actually, like, a year after? But as a looter shooter, it's bad. It's an RPG. I mean, looter shooters are usually RPGs. I get what you mean, but, like, it does focus more on the RPG side of things, but I think it is still definitely a looter shooter. Just a shit looter shooter, good RPG. It sold 35 million copies. Yeah, but the sales doesn't... The actual sales is not what I'm talking about. BO4 also sold incredibly well. I'm saying the game was, like, unplayable for a majority of those 35 million people. Or, well, I guess the 12 million people that bought it initially. It's now a better game. See, Cyberpunk 77 got mad when people were seeking out legendary loot and randomized everything that had previously been guaranteed. God damn it. Fuck, you caught me lacking. We're gonna hit 300. Fuck! Dude. The biggest fucking April Fools ever pulled. I say that. I know the game released in September, but still, I'm being April Fooled right now. Is them fucking swapping the save quit button or the quit to desktop button and the quit to menu button from BL3. Why did they swap them?
Gearbox.
Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, both PlayStation and Xbox offered refunds, so I would consider that a bit of a failure. Sony actually removed it from their store for a bit. That's what I mean, like, it's a great game now, but it definitely had some trials and tribulations. What 296 runs does to a motherfucker. Why are you in someone's colon? It's just where I like to be, where I like to hang out. I mean, I feel like that's as looter shooter as you're gonna get from CDPR. They don't seem like that kind of company that would be interested in it. I do think with BL4 doing what it did, I think it does open up the genre a hell of a lot to other companies coming in and becoming the looter shooter, because I think that was a big problem with the genre previously, where it was like, you either had to do something different then, or you had to directly compete with Borderlands, which for the longest time just was not feasible. I think now with where BL4 is, with BL4 looking to other looter shooters to fucking come up with ideas, I think that really opens up the genre to another big dog coming in. FromSoft looter shooter? See, the problem is these are both companies whose games I'm not a huge fan of. Also, FromSoft kind of did also do a looter shooter. Just not a shooter. So it's a looter slicer. Which again, I think Elden Ring is probably the closest that we would ever see from them in terms of that. Got mad that people complained about all the poop jokes in BL3 and made BL4 a poop joke. Yeah, no, they just replaced all the poop jokes with sex jokes. It's much more funny. I don't know, Earl finally said Hawk to us, so I can't really be too mad about the humor in these games. It's all I really needed in life. Can't be worse than the 364 runs I did for a Fire OP10 Lyuda. Did he? Did he? Yeah, hold on. Let me get you the clip. This is huge. This is really big. It was my first fight with Earl. I heard him hit that Hawk Tua. He has two lines. There's one where he, like, just does it, where he just, like, does a Hawk Tua. But there's this one that I got where he literally just straight up says Hawk Tuah. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Yeah, let me pause the music real quick. Here we go. That right there is Randy Pitchford saying Hawk Tuah. Isn't that fucking awesome? That was a great pause. I'm so fucking happy. No Hawk 2A. Don't have the gun yet, but we did get the Hawk Tuah. Talk to a Lilith. And no, Rage 2 is not a looter shooter. I suppose I can accept that one. Rage 2 is so fucking good, though. Rage 2 is why I could definitely see them actually doing a looter shooter. Rage 3, they should just make a proper looter shooter. Rage 3 be made a looter shooter would go hard. Dude, I'm telling you, like, this is the time for people to start doing looter shooters. There's a huge fucking open market right now. Rage 3? I want to see it. I want to see that shit. It would have been great if we got fucking Outriders too. But unfortunately, that got canned. This just takes him so long for his head to be grabbable. If you were allowed to grip it like the second he started staggering, this would go so much faster. It's Epic's fault, trust. Yeah, man, it's just good guy Gearbox at it again. Good guy Gearbox giving us 5 golden keys because they fixed Epic's problem. New raid boss in 2 weeks? Yeah, it's raid boss and then takedown, right? I can't wait for the raid boss to be fucking Ordinite crystals. Instead of Vile crystals, it'll be so cool. Division's doing better than all of them right now, and people mocked it as a failed Destiny killer. Dude, you know what's hilarious? If there was any looter shooter that they should have pulled from for BL4, it should have been the Division. Specifically, they should have pulled the fucking crafting system from the Division. If BL4 had the Division 2 crafting, bro, farming would actually be enjoyable. Most of this game would actually be enjoyable. The one game they should have copied from and they didn't. Genuinely, that's my recommendation. If you're in the market for a new looter shooter, you just are really craving a new looter shooter, I highly, highly recommend jumping on the Division 2. I think it is the single most successful looter shooter outside of the Borderlands franchise in, like, actually doing the genre justice and understanding the genre. It's also just dope, dude. I don't know, something about the Division's story is just so fucking cool to me. I think it's awesome. Combat is also incredibly fun. Borderlands is king of the franchise with every game. That's why I think it's opened up, like with BL4 being the way that it is and not really doing that well. I think it's really opened up the genre. And I feel like within the next couple years, we'll be seeing a lot more looter shooters starting to come out. It's like how we're starting to see more MOBAs because League of Legends is on the decline. You kind of just... If there's a big dog locking down a franchise, then you get a lot less of less competition in that franchise because no one wants to be the one to try to dethrone. Was that Run 300, by the way? I think that was. No one wants to try to be the one to dethrone the big dog, you know? If the big dog dethrones itself, then it's even better. Build system in Division 2 is actually pretty good. Massive room for personalized builds. I'm telling you, like, that's what I love about it. That's why I think it's the most successful in the genre, or like in staying true to the genre, is it's not Borderlands at all. I think it is the single furthest that you can get in terms of gear, loot, crafting, the way you build, the skill systems and shit. I think it is as far away as you could get from Borderlands. But it takes all the core concepts of build diversity and the loot chase and all that shit, and it does it so fucking well. Like, it's a completely different game. It is its own thing, but it is so successful in being a looter shooter. Way Destiny 2 is held up by the endgame environments, and yet we got barely any experimentation through takedowns. You have to question what value a singular raid boss will bring us at this point. I feel like it'll just be a few hours of farming, and then we're back to the content route. I mean, that's exactly what happened with Bloomy. It's gonna be another time trial, too. Like, every piece of endgame content so far. So it's just going to be further, like, pushing that you need absolute peak speed kill builds for the end game of this game, and that's it. The only thing that works. I feel like they should just, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they should do at this point. I've given so many suggestions to how this game could do it and pull itself back, but literally every single time the new piece of content has released, it's felt like they just do the exact opposite of what they should be doing, and it's just never gonna go anywhere or amount to anything.
Applause optional, survival not.
Imagine if EA made a looter shooter. They did, didn't they? EA was Anthem, right? Anthem, oh boy. Yeah, that was bad. That one wasn't Respawn, but that was EA, right? Gearbox seems to only hire competent people as temps. Yeah, it seems like between each game, like, I feel like they just lose too many fucking people between each game that were, like, core to the previous game. I don't fucking know, man. It just feels so weird how they start from scratch in so many areas with a lot of the games. Like, I guess that's kind of also what keeps them fresh, maybe? Because, again, I really enjoy how different BL1 to BL2 is. I enjoy how different BL2 to BL3 is, and I think that's the way that they should be going with this franchise, where each... Like, that's what I said at the end of my big 30-minute video, was they need to not focus on recapturing an audience that is already captured in the previous game. They need to just make a new game for a new audience. They need to take the formula and keep pushing it. And that's the biggest issue with 4, is that it doesn't do that. It stays stagnant and backtracks in some ways. And I think if they did just keep up with that and keep doing new shit and keep having the will to see that new shit through and to make it as best as it could be, then that would be great. But they just don't with 4. It's bland as hell. Exactly. Like, again, it's not a bad game. I will never say that BO4 is a bad game. I think it is a good game. I fucking put a lot of time into it, but I just don't have that same interest that I've had with the previous games, where like it doesn't have me hooked the way that every other game did. It did, like, the gameplay and the loot chase from 3, and like even Mayhem, even original Mayhem, as shit as original Mayhem was, like, it was something to do. And the bigger thing about 3 was that we had so much endgame at launch, and that kept me hooked, and that got me excited to see where it was gonna go. And so even when the game was like kind of annoying with original Mayhem, it kept my interest fully, because I was like, I'm into it. Like, I want to know I want to see what they do with these systems. These systems are awesome. These systems are new. They're cool. I like playing this game. The fucking evolution on skill trees and shit. With BL2, it was like, I mean, going from BL1 to BL2 was like an entirely different fucking game entirely. And overall, it was fucking crazy, the increases in skill trees and shit. And it feels like they attempted to do the same sort of evolution with 4, but they didn't full commit in any place at all. And like, they tried to make skill trees new and different, but they just made them bigger. And with that, they didn't make them bigger in a way that feels warranted. They made them bigger in a way that feels like they just wanted bigger skill trees, not that they actually had too many ideas to fit in a normal skill tree. Skill trees are a lot messier than they've ever been, and they don't feel as good to build. And they're a lot more limiting. Weapon systems are just, they tried to elevate on top of anointments, but like they knew people didn't like anointments, and I don't think that they even see them as anointments, even though it's literally just anointments but more centralizing. Like, man, I don't know. Everything they tried to do to make the game new, it feels like it just backfired because they didn't commit hard enough to doing something new. Game just needs more content. When it will come out, the game will be the best in the franchise. Buddy, we're almost through all of the content. Like, this is it. There's not going to be a Season Pass 2. This game is not... We got 17,000 players for Story Pack 1. That's only going to dwindle more and more with every new DLC release. We're not getting the updates to keep community interest. We're not getting the content to keep community interest. It's like we're not getting a Season Pass 2. We were getting 1 more story DLC and 3 more bounty packs. Not even half? I mean, like, it's not that much over half. We're at the point where we've seen what they're gonna do with everything. Like, we know what the content is. Bounty packs aren't that much. Story packs, if this is what we can expect, is like, it's cool. The story pack is good, but the fact that we're only getting 1 more is kind of a tragedy. Raids don't really do much to expand the endgame whatsoever. And the only thing we're yet to see what they do with is the takedown. But at this point, I think it's too little too late. We should have had a takedown back in fucking December. That's when it needed mobbing content. For Randy Pitchford's next trick, now watch as I make a once beloved franchise disappear. Watch as I make my USB stick disappear. The biggest sin that BL4 commits is that every piece of new content we're getting is not built with replayability in mind. Yeah. And every fucking thing is just pushing builds to be more and more centralizing. There's no reason for any build if it can't kill a boss. If it can't kill Bloomy Plat, you know? Like, then, well, fuck you. It's kind of the only fucking endgame metric that there is to even go off of at this point. I love time trials! Time trials are so cool! Time trials are awesome! True mode is awesome! I love when the fucking game just artificially takes my build diversity and goes, eh. It's sick! So much fun! Time trials should be removed. I think you can do them right. The problem is when you're, like, gating actual specific drops behind a time trial. Like, that goes for both the Ordinite event and the, Bloomy shit. Time trials in 3, the trials, they were good because they were just kind of there for speedrunners. Like, you got better rewards, but they weren't very restrictive. It was very easy to hit the 5-minute mark, even on, like, a mid-as-hell build. So it wasn't, like, completely locking you out of using them to farm class mods and shit. So, like, not only were they just easy goals to meet, but they were mostly just timed for, like, speedrunning. Like, it was so you could see how much lower you could get your time if that was something you personally cared about. It wasn't actually part of the content, if that makes sense. We love time trial slop, we sing in unison. I prefer BL3's many planets over BL4's open world, even if there is really no interesting ones. I think just having that level of variety was so much better than what they did with Kairos. Even though each region's very varied, they just don't really feel like anything new for the most part. The only one that feels new is Fade Fields, and the Fade Fields are, like, boring. True mode give you more loot / experience, and there would at least be a reason to play it. Well, that's the problem, is they can't do that. Because if they do that... Oh, that's an enhancement. They shouldn't do that. The true mode just shouldn't exist, is the thing. True mode is a fucking mistake for this game. If it was going to exist, it only ever should have been added way at the end of the lifespan of this game. Because all it does is, like, it becomes the de facto endgame. Whether or not, like, you personally play on true mode specifically or anything, true mode becomes the variable at which every endgame build is justified against. If your build cannot perform on true mode, then there's no point in posting it. And that sucks. Like, that's asked to have happen within the first fucking few months of this game before even having a level cap increase. And they just did that. If they made it that it gave you increased loot or increased anything, like... I mean, technically it does, because it increases spawns, so technically you do have a chance at better loot, I guess. But, like... If they made it there actually be a point to playing on it, then that would only, like, exacerbate that. It would make even more, people playing on true mode. But already, for build crafters and shit, if you post something that sucks ass on true mode, that's no longer an actual good build. That's now a shit fucking dog ass build that you should keep to yourself and never show anywhere. That might have been too slow. True mode was in True mode wasn't in BO3. True mode was a switch that you could enable on a specific piece of content. The problem is that this is just a toggle for the entire game. True mode was truly just an additional challenge. You did, like... That's the difference. Is that it didn't affect the entire fucking game. BO3 had 2 raid bosses at launch and 3 at the end. BO3 didn't have any raid bosses at launch. It also has like 20 at the end. BO3 has the most raid bosses in the entire franchise. I like true mode, it gives me a sense of power. The problem with it is just the implementation of it. It should not be a global toggle. It should be a toggle for, like, Bloom Reaper. And the takedown when that comes, and other raid bosses when that comes. Is it not no knowledge that BO3 has, like, 20 raid bosses? True trials are not raid bosses and you know it? I'm not talking... They are. What do you mean they aren't raid bosses? If true trials are not raid bosses, then any raid boss in BO2 is not a raid boss. A raid boss in this franchise is, like, been shown time and time again. The only, like, qualification of being a raid boss is a big-ass fucking health pool. That's dumb and you know it. I do not know it. Timekeeper Big Encore is a raid boss? I don't think he has enough health to be considered a raid boss, no. I think if he had like 10 times the health as the Timekeeper, then yeah. The only reason I give Bloom Reaper a raid boss pass is because he says the invincible in his name. I don't think Bloomy is tanky enough to be a raid boss. True trials are not real raid boss. Dude, okay, can you guys actually tell me right now in chat what defines a raid boss? Like, I'm telling you, every single raid boss in this franchise is pretty much defined by the single factor of big health pool. Big boss, big health pool. High HP, exactly. Issue with the raid boss conversation. What is a raid boss? Realistic, it depends on individuality. What do you think versus what other thinks? Yeah, like, it is definitely a personal opinion. I go by what the game says most of the time. If it has ever been referred to as a raid boss, and there's something that has similar health, then I'll fucking acknowledge it as a raid boss. A raid boss is whatever the hell Gearbox decides to label a raid boss. Again, that's the only reason I accept Bloomy as a raid boss. Interesting mechanics, high HP, good loot. Does that apply to every single raid boss in BO2? Does Vermivorous have interesting mechanics? Does Dexy have interesting mechanics? Does Craw have interesting mechanics? The word invincible means raid boss in Borderlands? Well, then in that case, every single... well, wait, right? Because I don't think, does Anathema have invincible? I know the Valkyries don't have invincible. But I think they're considered raid bosses by Gearbox. Dexy, no, okay, you got me on that. Yeah, but he's a raid boss. Fraud does have interesting mechanics. You just shoot him. A raid boss needs health pool that is balanced for multiplayer gameplay, combat that is centered around multiplayer gameplay, and an intimidating title. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my thing. And again, I'll just accept whatever Gearbox says is a raid boss. Because, I mean, it's their fucking game. If they say Bloom Reaper's a raid boss, Bloom Reaper's a raid boss. Everything in OP10 is a raid? I mean, not necessarily. I can give a normal boss infinite health. Is that a raid boss? If it has infinite health, then it's just unkillable. If I give Splash Zone the same health as Bloomy, is that a raid boss? No, because again, the only reason I accept Bloomy as a raid boss is because Gearbox says he's a raid boss. Bloomy does not have a raid boss health pool. If you gave Splash Zone like fucking 400 times his current HP, then yeah, I'd consider him a raid boss. I'm just paying Iridium to fight raid bosses. I mean, yeah, honestly, you could consider the big Encores raid bosses. Even with that, that could be a qualifier to you. In my opinion, true trial bosses are just normal enemies, but with inflated HP. But is that not just what a raid boss is? Like, again, Dexy. Dexy's a normal enemy with inflated HP. Vermi is a normal enemy with inflated HP. Anything that cannot be killed with the binary operator is a raid boss. True, true. What if Epic NG made a mod that made Splash Zone a raid boss? Yeah, like, I don't understand the gotcha that's trying to be had here. I feel like I'm very consistent in my qualifications. They took a normal mob and inflated their HP to hell. Vermivorous. Deciduous. Like, or excuse me, no, sorry, not Vermi. Not Vermi. No, it is Vermivorous. Vor is the other one. Yeah, Vermi. Vermi's literally just a fucking big Varkid. Bloom Reaper can't have a raid boss health pool thanks to that short timer. I genuinely would have preferred a larger health pool and no timer. Yeah, that's what it should have been. The only reason I'm not talking about Vora here is because of the shield thing. Like, I guess that is that's a difference that he has, even though it's usually just bypass and it's really not that interesting of a mechanic. But I'm trying to be fair in this conversation, so I'm not even gonna bring up Vora. Vermi and Dexy, literally some of the most iconic raid bosses from BL2, are big fucking... Wait! Terra! Why am I not thinking about Terramorphous? Terramorphous is literally just a big fucking Thresher. The most iconic fucking raid boss from BO2, the one that has been there since the beginning. Terra slaps, he's a big fucking Thresher. What's interesting about his mechanics? How is he not just an enemy with inflated HP? Like, I don't get it. It just, this seems inconsistent. The thing is, again, I think this is personal preference. I'm not trying to, like, change anyone's mind or say that you're dumb and stupid and gay or whatever. I'm enjoying this conversation. But to me, I'm like, I feel like your qualifications here are specifically being built to exclude BL3 rather than to actually, like, acknowledge raid bosses and how they were in 2. They have unique mechanics, personal drops, much HP, and not inflated HP. That's a raid boss. I don't understand how you qualify between a lot of HP but not inflated HP. Again, that sounds more like you're trying to qualify BL3 out of it rather than make an actual qualification. You compare Terra to True Trials, it's still just a basic enemy with inflated HP and a scale put on it. It's scaled up. BL4 Earl was more interesting as a Thresher reskin than Terra. Don't test me, you 8-legged creature. Slappy's Terry Jr. Terra's all the Threshers combined, though has a phase cycle with an amplified form of each Thresher. He's kind of just a Thresher. He's not that interesting, is the thing. Like, he is different, but he's not that interesting. He's not more interesting than the fucking trial bosses to me. They're kind of just, like, playing against beefier versions of their basic enemies. Yeah, Cromarax, again, I don't think Cromarax really has anything interesting going on. Denial is a river in Egypt. She really should just revisit reusing enemies as raid bosses. It would be a nice way to give a fair chunk of endgame content. Genuinely, like, Just fucking give us beefy shit to do. Cromarax is a moving target range. Yeah, but so it's like literally anything that has a crit spot. It's just like exacerbated with Craw. See, you keep saying let's be honest with your arguments, but like I'm being honest. I'm being true to my opinion on this. Skag Trial has as much mechanics as Terra, elemental swamping, and an HP threshold. That's a great point, actually. That one has all of the fucking Stag variants in one, effectively. To be fair, I have issues telling standing in one room shooting one boss a raid anyway. To me, that's not even a raid at all. Yeah, in like the traditional sense of what a raid actually is. Yeah, but again, it's what Gearbox defines it as. If Gearbox calls something a raid boss, I'm going to acknowledge it as a raid boss. I want an order raid boss. That would be tough. I would just want it to be something like actually more unique than any of the individual order enemies. They're so boring. In my opinion, True Trial sucks and Taylor is a great boss. Yeah, that's totally fine. Just play the game. I am bored. I enjoy arguing. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me catch up on Twitch chat. I was focused more on YouTube. It was moving fast. New BL4 game mode where they just electrocute your balls. That would kind of slap. Whoever thought True Trials weren't raids, go fight True Hag. Then tell me that motherfucker ain't a raid boss. Vermi has this cool mechanic in Creature Slaughter where you can just fly out of the map and never come back. Straight up raiding it. Let's just say my boss. Terra should give you a knocked off the map again award. There is the badass Pyre Thresher from Overlook mixed with other Thresher variants mixed in with extra tentacles. The extra tentacles are quite nice. Play new Tales again. I swear it'll be good this time around. You know what? You might be onto something. You might be onto something. That playthrough totally wasn't like agonizing to get through. I had a really good time doing that, actually. That totally wasn't like my least favorite experience streaming ever. I should do it again. Takedown would be more of a raid to me personally. A gauntlet of hard mobbing followed by midway and final boss. Yeah, I think the takedowns are like the traditional style of raid. And that's why they're so fucking good and why it's wild that they originally weren't planned for BL4. I think it's really telling just how much of a hate boner Gearbox has for 3. Even though I don't think it's that Gearbox is a hate boner for 3. I feel like it's that Gearbox somehow managed to get gaslit by the fans into thinking that they should have a hate boner for 3. But that's how, like, in their head about BL3 they seem to be, is that they weren't even going to add a fucking takedown into this game until they got bullied into it. Probably the single best piece of content ever conceived for this franchise. And they're like, we don't need that. I would agree that Wotan's probably the best raid boss. For me, it's between it's between Wotan and Anathema. I think Anathema's fucking beautifully designed. I really enjoy movement. And I enjoy that Anathema, more than being an actual boss fight, at least Anathema isn't a damage check. Anathema is purely a movement check. And I think that's really fucking cool. Wotan should have been a bit healthier. I think true Wotan's pretty damn good. I think base Wotan's a little squishy, but I think I'm happy with true Wotan. Wotan has enough phases that it like extends the boss out, not in a way that feels unnatural, but in a way that does still make him feel pretty damn beefy. He's too easy? Brother, you should have seen Wotan. Were you around for Wotan day 1? I'm telling you, if when you go into Wotan fucking blind, bro, that motherfucker's rough. It took me a while to get the hang of him. I remember that day 1 of Molly 1 Takedown was probably some of my favorite just Borderlands experience ever. Because everyone was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And everyone was just queuing into each other's lobbies, dude. Tries out in Zane Mayhem 4, no seeing dead. Like, I'll get to that in a second. But no, like, just joining up into a lobby with a bunch of random people who also have no idea what the fuck to expect or how to kill this boss. And just running through Molly 1 Takedown with a bunch of randoms, it felt so fucking good. And there was, my one specific memory that I, like, have so vividly from it is, of course, I was playing Zane, Mayhem 4, no seeing dead. And I fucking, it was the closest at the time that I had gotten to killing, fucking Wotan for the first time. Everyone was dead. Every person had died very early into the fucking fight. And I pretty much soloed, before True Takedown even was a thing, I pretty much soloed True Takedown Wotan. All the way up into his final phase. And then I died after the split. It was devastating. I almost hard carried that shit. It would have been my fucking hero moment. I dread Order Takedown. I pray to God it's not Order. But I know it's going to be because they said it's like an underwater facility or something. I don't know what else would have an underwater facility on Kairos. That's why I'm really not holding my breath for the takedown, is because, like, I do really like what they did with the enemies in this DLC. I think a lot of the enemy types here are a lot better, but I just, like, I feel like there's, I don't think they're gonna do much more with Order enemies. I don't think they're gonna do enough to at least make Order enemies interesting for a takedown. Enemy variety in BL4 is garbage? Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm not excited about a fucking takedown. That's why I do really like the enemy variety in this DLC. I think the enemy designs here are fantastic, and it makes me excited for the next DLC. But unless they introduce, like, a whole new enemy faction for this fucking takedown, I think it's gonna suck no matter what. Takedowns were also rough day 1 because they hadn't buffed like every gun in the game by 10,000%. They only did that to like 3 guns. That's another big misconception I keep seeing a lot about 3. There really wasn't that many gigabuffs. And one of the guns that got gigabuffed was fucking, the Creeping Death. But no, that was something that I also thought that there was a lot more huge buffs to guns than there actually was. It was doing BL3's Forgotten that started making me realize, oh wait, there's really not that many. But no, the gun balance for BL3 was just kind of always really good. They would buff up guns that were like somewhat underperforming, but usually it didn't take that big of a buff to get it into a spot where it was like performing really well. And so most guns only received like not even a 100% damage buff. Which is worse overall, BL4 or Wonderlands? BL4. I put way more time into Wonderlands initially. The only problem with Wonderlands was it had a lacking endgame, but it at least had mobbing and bossing as an endgame. BL4 has bossing and farming as an endgame, and that's it. We got takedowns for every manufacturer for specific farming. I really wish they would do something like that. I think the solution is like a Loot the Universe weekly event. Or like weekly rotation where it just takes all the map zones and assigns a manufacturer to them to increase manufacturer drop rates in that zone. Having like greater chance for enhanced, like legendary enhancements and shit. I don't think we're ever gonna get anything like that, though. I don't think we're gonna get anything for this game other than the bare minimum that has been promised. And hell, even that's questionable, considering I did not get what my $40 promised me for 98 hours. So who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? What is we talking about? What is we talking about? I ironically enjoy Hater Axe. Like, sure, Wawa Hater Axe is easy, but it has fucking mechanics. Hater Axe is really cool. I think Hater Axe is fun as fuck. Is there people that don't like Hater Axe? I thought Hater Axe was like one of the better received things about that entire DLC. Would have been cool with Wonderlands if it wasn't for the PLC debacle. Try not to include Wonderlands in my rankings because I know my bias isn't actually directed towards the game itself. Yeah. I fully believe that the theory that all of the side areas in Wonderlands were probably originally supposed to be the DLC and the game itself was going to launch at like a $40 price tag. And then they decided to just full price the game and launch all of those as just side areas to the game. And then they just like came up with the fucking mirrors after that. Bad as New Tales was, I did enjoy the extra lore of Meteor. The only thing that annoys me with it is they played it both very seriously and as a joke. Like, they could not commit one way or the other with how they portrayed Meteor. And I think that really made it confusing to where I'm like, I don't know what's actually canon about Meteor or not with that game. Genuinely hated the buff the Hellwalker got. It was never underperforming. It just needed a build to make it great, which is exactly what you want from Balance. I think the Hellwalker could have used like a slight buff, but what did it get? 400%, I believe. Hold on, changelog. Yeah, so it originally got hit by a nerf. Got its damage reduced by 8%, and then it was buffed way later on by 317% weapon damage. I don't think it ever fucking needed that much. I think at most it needed like 100, if that, maybe 50. Because that was September 2020 that it got buffed. So, that would have been post Mayhem 2.0, which I think by that point it did need a little bit of love, but definitely not 317% loving. At what point am I just not gonna get this done? At what point do I just fucking give up? Because dear God. Totally haven't been putting tens of hours into understanding Hater Axe and breaking down how he works numerically. Been debating eating the Subway sub that's been sitting on my desk since last night. Do I do it? What is in it? Is there like meat in there? I think if there's meat in that, then you might get fucking food poisoning, but also that could be like funny or something. So maybe it could be worth the meme. Nerfed it early and then gave it the power of the Doomslayer himself. Butcher's still better than the Hellwalker, and we can't get that in BL4 because they removed Hyperion. Sometimes feel like I love the game, but most people hate on it, and their opinion is taking on me, even though I love the game. I know it's like, it's gonna sound dumb to say, but just, you gotta not let that happen. There is a difference between, like, taking in an opinion and, like, considering it and thinking about it and acknowledging it as someone else's opinion. And sometimes that can have an effect on you. Like, sometimes you might think about things in a way that you were not previously thinking about them, or you might see a new perspective or something. But if you enjoy something, or if you hold an opinion about something, you hold that opinion. Don't let anyone take that opinion away from you. Don't blindly disregard opinions and be like, you're right, I'm wrong, or you're wrong, I'm right, or I'm right, you're wrong. Whatever the fuck. But yeah, no, I mean, buddy, I feel ya. I went through 7 years or 6 years of being a huge BL3 fan, and only just recently do I see more people coming around to that game. It was 6 years of me fucking being like, man, I really like BL3, and people being like, what are you, fucking retarded? And like, it was the same sort of thing. I heard opinions, I understood opinions, I acknowledge other people's takes on the game and shit. And there are some things that I fucking agree with, of course. But, really, a lot of it only ended up strengthening my love for the game, because there's a lot of things that people don't like that I can be like, well, I do actually really like that. Like anointments. I understand why people don't like anointments. I understand why people hate them and didn't like them at any point, even when they became rerollable. To me, I think anointments are fucking cool. I really like how it's a part of a gun that drastically changes how it functions. You know, like licensed parts. I still don't understand how people like licensed parts but don't like anointments. I don't get that one still. But the reason I don't like licensed parts is because you cannot re-roll them. And I liked anointments even before they could be re-rolled. Was it a pain in the ass? Absolutely, but I still enjoyed them, and it was only one part that I had to worry about. Licensed parts are 3. Up to 3. I hate loving Borderlands. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a difficult franchise to enjoy. A Ripper Butcher will not be tolerated. Dude, I would love a fucking Ripper Butcher. Now, unless the game has issues, but I love it and I honestly think it will be great, then yeah, you keep doing that. The internet is a fucking cesspool of people hating everything. Sifting through that is honestly a skill. Feel that I like OP levels, the world hated them, and yeah, I know, but I still like OP levels. I think fucking, to this day, Mayhem is the closest we have and likely ever will get to a perfect endgame system, despite its problems. And there's tons of people that will disagree with that. But I mean, that's not why I like talking about this shit. I like hearing what other people have to say on these matters. Happening with Wonderlands? Seen K6 and other people talking about how the game's good. I mean, Wonderlands was always acknowledged as a good game. The only issue with Wonderlands was there was nothing to do. It was just Chaos Chambers. The game fucking double, triple, quadrupled down on Chaos Chambers and literally nothing else. And that was the only issue Wonderlands really had. The rest of the game was fantastic. It's one of the best written Borderlands games, story-wise. It's one of the most fun games to play through. It has some of the most interesting builds ever. It had some balance issues, but what game doesn't? Oh, is that better than my other Heimdall? 33... Oh no, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's worse actually. It has a longer cooldown. I did the opposite. I love BO3 ever since day one, and I didn't really like BO2. I've since really gotten into BO2, and I'm loving it. Granted, I'm a Gauge main now. Oh, no! I'm so sorry. That's terminal. Expected more since we're only getting 2 story expansions instead of the usual 4 in every Borderlands game. Yeah, it's kind of wild how small this DLC is, and it's one of 2. Borderlands cycle, every time we got a new game, we hear negativity, and then after the game cycle, we look back and it was damn good. The only reason that I don't think that's going to happen with 4 is that there is no game cycle. Like, we're not getting the cycle we got with other games. We aren't getting the patches or the love that the other games got. We're also not even having Gearbox fucking communicate anything. And so that's why I'm like, it really feels like a Gearbox is just going to do the bare minimum, pump out what has been promised, and then drop the game and move on to 5. It just doesn't feel like, like again, to me, it just doesn't feel like anyone wanted this game to be what it is. Are you a masochist? Yes, what gave that away? Have you gotten a phosphine from him yet? I've gotten a phosphine, shotgun. Is the, does the Heimdall drop as a phosphine? Can you get can you put weapon skins on fucking ordnance? Is that a thing? No? It seems? Unless I'm just missing it? So yeah, the only, the phosphine I haven't gotten would be the pearl. But I've also just not gotten the pearl, so. Wonderlands was a turning point for the community. Everyone was positive, and Vikings before the story, or before and during the community started breaking down disagreements, and the good vibes never really came back. Yeah, I mean, really with Wonderlands, they just... I think the problem with Wonderlands is that Gearbox never anticipated it doing as well as it did. They probably were expecting another TPS situation. And, like, Wonderlands didn't sell amazingly, to my knowledge. Like, Wonderlands was never huge, but people wanted way more from it. And that's why I think they were so quick to kind of announce Wonderlands 2 was going to happen. Because that came before they even... I think they talked about Wonderlands 2 before the fucking mirrors even came out. They were like, yeah, we're going to do Wonderlands 2, yippee! And I think they did that because they were like, man, we do not have enough shit planned for the hype around this game. We did not do enough. Vibing, not Viking. Okay. I was trying to figure out where you're going with that. But yeah, it's like... I understand why Wonderlands was the way that it was. And that's why I'm very excited about the potential of Wonderlands 2. Assuming that still happens. And I really hope that, I think the way that they could do it is, like, if they want this to be the direction of the mainline series going forward, I would love if they make Wonderlands the more, like, BL3 style of game with multiplicative damage formulas. Make that the crazy one if they want the mainline one to not be as crazy. Do you think we're getting BL5? They can't afford another flop? They can. They absolutely can. We're going to get Borderlands until Randy Pitchford and his wife don't want Borderlands, which I don't think is ever going to happen. Borderlands 4 feels like a game Gearbox is like, alright, let's get this done with so we can make Borderlands 5. That's exactly how it's been feeling. There's just not the love and care to see anything about it through like there was in 3. Again, like, you look at the patch notes from 3, you see that it was 1 month, and then we got an amazing free fucking event with Captain Haunt that introduced a whole new area, a new boss, new raid boss, although it only became a raid boss later on, a new boss, new gear, a new NPC, and a fan favorite NPC at that, and a whole new mechanic with terror. And then a month later, we not only got a Takedown, one of the single best pieces of content in the franchise, but we also got Mayhem 4, which was specifically added as an answer to people being upset with Mayhem 3 and not enjoying Mayhem 3. So Mayhem 4 came along to make the game harder, but also to get rid of Mayhem modifiers. The major complaint. It was literally a band-aid fix that came not even 2 months after the launch of the game to make the game better for the community, while they committed to fixing Mayhem as a whole and making a whole new system. And I'm like, that's just not something that current Gearbox seems interested in even thinking about doing with any single system in this game. Like, UVH sucks. UVH is boring as fuck. The wildcard missions to climb through UVH are some of the most lame shit ever. And it is like, the wildcard mission part of things is seemingly communally hated. And I don't think they've ever even talked about the potential of changing how you progress UVH. Do you know if BL4 has even made a profit? Probably. I'm sure somewhere. I imagine it did. Like, it sold incredibly well. I don't know if every portal from this DLC has a phosphine. I know the Soul Survivor does. But I don't know. I know there's a lot of weird shit with the Soul Survivor, so I don't know if that's supposed to happen. How can we expect love and care from Borderlands 5 when BL4 is like this? I mean, there's like potential that I feel like BL4 had a lot of hands in it that weren't necessarily supposed to be in it. I have a feeling that no one... I don't think this game was meant to be open world. I don't think anyone wanted this game to be open world, just given how it's integrated. And I'm like, maybe this shows... The hope and the cope is that maybe this shows that to whoever's hands were in this that should not have been in this, maybe you just gotta let Gearbox do their thing. And if Gearbox does their thing, and is allowed to support the game in the way that they want to, and is allowed to make the game that they want to make, and would actually be interested in keeping alive and supporting, then maybe we get something good with BL5. Maybe. Potentially. Maybe. Enjoyed Wonderlands, but the removal of replayable campaigns was a major turnoff for me personally. I enjoy resetting the campaign, and now that 2 times a Borderlands feature has been missing. I don't understand why they completely cut communication. We had better communication about BL4 before launch than currently. Yeah, I did learn that the PR person is new to Gearbox. They lost their previous PR guy. Or at least like the PR head. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Was there love and care for BL3? They were course correcting to the end of the game's content life cycle. BL4's course correction is worse for them because nothing new they tried worked. I don't understand how that's not love and care for the game. That's just like framing it more negatively than it is. BL3 was fine on launch. It's like BL3 was a good game on launch. It had the most end game that we've had out of a Borderlands game at launch, still to this day. The only major issue was like a few things. It was fucking mayhem modes, modifier shit, and non-rerollable anointments. Oh, and optimization. But optimization was fixed within like the first month for the most part. Like literally within the first few patches it got better, and it only continuously got better from there. Again, it was like 2 months until Mayhem 4 came and was a really nice band-aid fix. Until they fully reworked Mayhem. And then all the while we were getting changes and balance fixes and bumping up guns that were underperforming. Like, I don't know. That to me, it shows care about a game. Specifically compared to what's happening with 4, where we're just not getting any of that. They want to move on to BL5, but when they don't give a shit about BL4, how can they give a shit about 5? I think I responded to that one already. I think I'm reading out of order. I don't know, my coffee's wearing off. BL5 will be $150. You think 2K fucked up BL4? I don't know who fucked up BL4. It's probably not a single person or entity, but I do imagine that there was likely a push somewhere to move in a direction that not everyone wanted to go. And I think that's potentially part of the problem. This is entirely speculation, of course. I have, like, no fucking proof of anything other than just, like, a gut feeling about the way that this game is and how it ended up here and similarities to other situations that are similar. What happened? Is YouTube autoplaying? Why is autoplay on? You're telling me Randy isn't the PR? Take-Two sent thugs to attack a content creator they cared about BO3. I can't tell if you're joking or not, but I would like to clear up. That content creator reframed everything that happened in such a shit light. He absolutely deserved literally everything that happened to him. He leaked a bunch of internal shit publicly on a public-facing platform tied to his personal identity. That's what happens when you leak internal shit. Like, I'm sorry, that entire situation was fucking ridiculous to me. The way that the whole community was against that for that guy, even though, like, he literally brought it upon himself. Yeah, BO3 is my favorite one, but people will disagree everywhere with what you just said. What do you mean? That Gearbox cared about 3? I don't know, man. Most people that I think have heard me say that have agreed that there was a lot more care to BL3 than 4. Now that I think about it, I had so much fun in BL3 at launch. Prometheus especially was such a fun experience. Eden 6 took it down, but still. Yeah, exactly. Like, BL3's launch gets vastly overstated at how bad it was. It really did not have that many issues. Again, the biggest one was probably fucking Mayhem. And that was mostly resolved very quickly, and even then you could just turn it off. Mayhem didn't really do much at launch. It just kind of made the game more difficult. It didn't increase dedicateds. It didn't increase anything that really mattered. Mayhem was completely optional. And I know that, like, it's still the endgame, and like I was saying with True Mode, like, that's the de facto default thing that people play on, but again, it was 2 months of that being an issue compared to going on 7 months of all the issues that 4 has. You mean Morning After Kill? No, I think Morning After Kill was one of the ones defending him. It was... Fuck, what the fuck was his name? Sup Motto, or whatever the fuck? He was the guy that had fucking Gearbox goons sent to his house, but it was literally because he was posting shit. Like, he was leaking shit actively on his YouTube channel. He was the source of multiple different leaks, and he was posting them publicly. And then he was shocked, and everyone got up in arms over Gearbox and Take-Two fucking defending their IP. There's a reason that every leaker ever that doesn't get caught hides their fucking identity and doesn't post on their main social medias. It was Yote Slayer? Oh, you might be thinking of a different situation then. Or I might be thinking of a different situation yet then. What happened with Yote Slayer? I didn't heard of him getting goons sent after him. No, I know he died. Didn't they go after Morning After Kill as well? I don't fucking know, man. Dude, that guy says so much shit. Fucking impossible to... If he said that they did, it is impossible to know whether he's telling the fucking truth or not. That man is fucking schizophrenic. At best. I think it's best case scenario if he's schizophrenic. If what he has is diagnosable, that is the best case for him. He attempted to recreate the BO2 intro. He had not leaked BO3. No, I know it was Submotto that leaked BO3. I just hadn't heard about the... It seems like it's a different situation with the Yote Slayer. Attempted to recreate the BO2 intro? You know, I don't think I've heard of that one. But yeah, no, the fucking Submotto situation was wild, the way that people reacted to that. When that was literally just industry standard. It to this day is still just what happens when you get into legal trouble with a fucking company trying to defend their IP. But I don't know, gamers don't really know a whole hell of a lot about that. Wasn't Mac the one guy who kept calling him the big content creator shills? Yeah, Mac was a fucking psycho. I think he still is a psycho actively. I'm pretty sure he still posts. The thing is, I don't know why anyone ever engaged with him. Because there was a huge drama like 2 or 3 years ago, right? Was really when he he made a big comeback and just started throwing hands in every direction because he needed relevancy as best he could. And then I don't know why anyone started interacting with him again. Because it only ended up becoming like kind of a big thing because people were responding to him and responded to shit that did not need responding to. Dude was just psychotic, and I think most people were aware of that. Ended up being like a months-long drama for nothing. How is it industry standard to let people stream your pre-release game on Twitch, which by default will show frequently updated screenshots of the stream even if no one can watch it? It was completely internal. There was also other shit that was leaked. To my knowledge, like, the stream was not accessible and he had clips from it. Or it wasn't supposed to be accessible and he had clips from it. But it wasn't just that. He was also leaking a bunch of information. I know he did leak clips from something. I thought it was the stream, but it might not have been the stream. Like, actual footage clips he leaked. I'm not saying, like, Gearbox didn't leak shit themselves. But even then, it is, like, yeah, you will get people going after you if there's something that isn't supposed to be external that becomes external and you post about it publicly. It's like, that will happen. It was not internal. I saw the screenshots myself on Twitch. I just couldn't join the streams. Yeah, he had clips from them, though. I was pretty sure. I don't know if the clips were from the stream or not. But it wasn't just the stream that got him got. He was leaking so much shit. He was the source of, the original Vault Hunter leaks. I'm pretty sure. When they first leaked Flack, Zane, Amara, and Moses' concept art, I'm pretty sure he was the one that first posted that shit. Like, he was leaking shit for months. How's it going, Elozik? Welcome, brother. So loud and very obnoxious. I never got why it was so relevant back in the day. And it got worse during the early BL3 days. I did like Mac back in the BL2 days. He was one of the first streamers I actually watched. I thought he was entertaining. But yeah, he just like slowly fucking lost it, dude. I say slowly. It was pretty fucking quick. It was like the second BL3 launched, something fucking snapped inside of his brain. Mac, he was one of the OG creators, to my understanding, which is why people cared about what he had to say. Yeah, exactly. But by the point that it started, like, being a big drama back in, like, 23 or some shit, he hadn't been relevant or even in the BL community for years. So it was odd to see people care about him again. And to respond to his fucking schizo-babble. I don't know, it was kind of funny. Holy fuck, dude. 335. This is starting to get fucking ridiculous. Oh. Is that the Luke dude? That is man of low moral fiber. I believe is Luke. Momph. He's an interesting character. Opinion of BL4 is almost the same as Jolt's. It's fine, but not great. Yeah. Yeah, negativity spreads way faster than positivity. Negativity bias, go burr. I think it's, like, probably because he was targeting more so the OG guys, like K6 and shit. They're really, I feel like a lot of the OG BL guys probably aren't as used to dealing with negativity like that. Just because, I mean, that's, like, having hate mobs thrown at you is kind of more so, a today internet style of thing that happens. It didn't happen that much back in the day. And so I think the idea of just, like, ignoring it and it goes away in a week is probably less known to them. But, like, everything just moves so fucking fast nowadays. You start getting shit, you just fucking leave it. The racist dude, yeah, I remember him. Dude, you can still go into his comment section, sort by new, and see the wildest shit. It's fucking crazy. They dropped the Froome update like an hour early? Okay. I was gonna say, it doesn't open until 4, I thought. I hear he loves minorities. No, don't worry, dude. He claims he's not a racist, right? He had some other retarded term for it. Momph was a character, alright. Hate to say it, though. He was surgical with 0, which is annoying. Dude, it sucks so much that the biggest piece of shit in this community, or at least one of them, had some of the best fucking content, man. He was literally the guy. It was him and Vinylic Puma, which is kind of funny how, like, complete polar opposites, because to my knowledge, Vinylic Puma is just a genuinely good guy. But those two are the people that I fully credit with actually, like, properly getting me into this series and converting me into being more so like an endgame technical player. It was entirely those two. And it sucks. Alright. We'll do 2 more. We'll get to 340. This is fucking insane. Generally, his Does It Suck series was legit quite good, which is, again, annoying. I mean, dude, what do you think the inspiration for BL3's Forgotten was? Like, unfortunately, Momph has had such a big impact on like my enjoyment of this franchise and literally my own YouTube channel that it pisses me off so much how much of a dickhead he is. One thing that bugged me with Puma is his gasps every sentence. See, I loved Puma's like isms. Puma was such a character, but in a complete different way than Momf was. In a much more enjoyable and endearing way. I love Puma's videos. What happened to Momf? I recommend looking into it. It's not really things that I can I can comfortably talk about. But he is a very, very expressive racist. We could say that. And it's not like small amounts of racism. It's competitive. It's extreme. Hasn't made a video in like 8 years. Go to his newest video and sort by new. He still responds to comments. I highly recommend just reading through it for a bit. It is fucking crazy, the shit that there's that people are saying in there, and then the shit that he fucking responds with. I swear to God, you'll see something in his comment section and be like, wow, that's the craziest shit I've read all day. And then you'll look at his reply and it just somehow gets fucking crazier. Wonder what happened to Puma. He just dropped off the face of the earth. Apparently, I don't want to make claims because honestly I don't know the entire situation. But apparently, he was kind of bullied off the platform a little bit. Apparently. Saw those comments, his responses are wild. Dude, it's fucking crazy. I'll go over now and say he's too woke. Just start trying to one-up him. Just start seeing what the craziest fucking thing you can get him to say is. You know, exactly. In my defense, I didn't know who he was as a person back then. I was just soaking up his information as a fan. Yeah, because, I mean, like, it was never really a thing in his videos. I think it started because, like, Discord DMs of his got leaked or some shit. And then he just started being openly racist in his own comment section. But yeah, it was a fucking crazy time. Man of low moral fiber. He's an old school BL2 YouTuber. I just thought that Garnet Anarchist is Momf in disguise. I don't think that's the case. That would be fucking wild. That'll be the BL or the fucking Borderlands drama in like 4 years. No, Garnet Anarchist seems way too chill. Which I appreciate because he's really been scratching that same itch. Big shout out to Garnet Anarchist. If you're a fan of BL3's Forgotten or the original. Yo! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit. Okay. Let me finish my shout out. If you're a fan of BL3's Forgotten or the original Does It Suck series, or hell, even just like if you're a Dirge fan, an old school Dirge fan, highly recommend Garnet Anarchist. But I think we share like 90% of our audience anyways. So how's it going, Charlie? We talking gold or diamond rank racist? Brother, this man is a challenger racist. Like, it's crazy. It's unfortunate about Puma. I know he had some isms, as you said. They're still really enjoyable and for the most part informative. Yeah, I think it was just like, I don't know. I think people just like didn't like his lists or something, even though lists are fucking subjective as is. Um, and like people got really fucking mean about it. Next 3 days off? Hell yeah. Love Dirch. Talked to him through Facebook Messenger a lot back in the good old days. Yeah, dude, he was a, I don't know if he's still watching, but he was an avid watcher of the Arachnica channel for a little bit. It was kind of neat. It was crazy because like Puma and Malmf were big inspirations, but my style of content, and especially if you go back to my first videos, the way I originally did my videos and my weapon reviews, it was one for one. I was just a fucking Dirch fanboy. Dirch definitely had the biggest inspiration on the way that I look at these games. I think the way that I think about things, the way that I play, and I think he's just a huge reason that I build the way that I do, and I think the way that I do. Because up until I started watching Dirch, like, he was what really got me thinking off meta, and thinking about the different ways that certain things could be applicable, and using things in unique ways. Big fan of Dirch. Dirch and Baru were the first ones I started watching with BO2. They bullied the wrong dude. They really did. I love Puma. Puma was fucking great. But yeah, no, Dirch is a really fucking nice guy.
Adequate.
He's like one of the most down-to-earth motherfuckers I think I've ever interacted with. Because even when he wasn't making content, he was still very active on Reddit and shit. All right, Crow-sourced. After 343-ish runs, my first Crow-sourced. Firestream, I'm not gonna read it out, but that is what I have heard. That is what I've heard. That's the claim. I have not looked into it enough myself to be certain of like what actually happened, but like that's the explanation that I've most often heard about where Vinylic Puma is and why he's not making videos anymore. It's also why I hear a lot of people not like that guy. All right. Fires random objects. Wait, what? What does that mean? What? I can't see what objects it's firing. Because you can't actually fucking... That's not unpause, and then, yeah, because photo mode still sucks dick, dude. Whatever. Interesting. Let's, Alright, I need to get out of here. Yeah, creators weren't kind to him publicly. I saw that firsthand in many streams. He was the butt of many jokes. Yeah, and again, I don't get why, dude. Like, I feel like Puma was probably just an easy target. Because, like... I don't know. He's too nice of a guy. I don't think Puma would ever fucking be a dickhead back to anyone. Like, he just genuinely seemed like a chill dude. And it sucks that he kind of got booted out of the community. Let's just take this to a fucking... Where's Rigo? A classic. The GOAT. Nah, we got it. We just got it. 343 runs and I got my first one. Love Puma. He made some great Fallout 4 and Borderlands videos. Yeah, no, like, he was a great fucking creator. Thought something happened with his dad. It's been so long I can't remember. I think that was originally why he left. I think he was taking a break. Puma, I think, ended up, like, he dipped a few times, I believe. I think the last time was because of the shit going on. Go true mode real quick. Got a proper feel here. This seems fucking crazy. I don't think I understand the effect though. Like, what does this actually do? Loot lemon help. Why Zane has taken over for Marcus for the vending machines on Kairos. It kind of slaps. Seems strong. It's definitely seeming a little strong, but I'm like, what does it do? Yeah, Loot Lemon doesn't have any more information. Like, is it firing grenades and shit sometimes? Like, I don't know what it means by random objects, and I can't really test because photo mode is dog shit. Oh, so what's the thing I got on it? Cryo override? That is kinda nice. Even not bursting it still feels really solid. I kind of just don't understand what the effect is or means. But like, it's a very good order AR. Can you get Ripper on it? If you get Ripper on it, this might be one of the best ARs in the game. Fires rocks and sticks. Okay, that kind of slaps. I do like rocks and sticks. So, is this really just, like, effectively a beefed up order AR, then? Because that's, like, kind of dope, if so. That's a pearl, if so. Alright, let's try it on Rigo. I did get it! 343 runs for a single fucking one. I haven't had Zed since BO2. Yeah, I think Zed's just gone. This is the Norfleet of BO4. I don't know if it feels that strong. I mean, it's still like single target and shit, right? I don't know. If you can get Ripper on it, then I think it could definitely be something really crazy. How many hours of farming I just realized? A lot. That was probably like 4 hours. Actually, no, that was already 2.5. That was probably like 6 hours total of farming for this thing. I mean, it's no Bonnie and Clyde. Definitely really good, though. more or less than the OG BO1 Pearl drop rates. It's supposed to be more, especially at Mayhem, or at UVH 6. Like, that was supposed to be a 0.9% drop rate. I don't think it was. I have a feeling that, given that that took 343 runs for a single drop, I think that this one's not getting UVH scaling. Either I got, like, insanely unlucky, because I think the average odds are, like, 1 in 100, if that, 1 in 110. So either I got really fucking unlucky, or this is a 0.6% drop rate that is not getting the UVH drop rate scaling. Because that was kind of crazy. Every other Pearl I've ever farmed has not taken that long. I'm like, I would love to know if this can drop with a Ripper. Not gonna find out myself, though. You know, ever see the war we've been promised? It's been 3 games and we moved maybe 1 step closer since. So, the end of BL4 leaves like 3 options in my mind. I finished the game and I was like, we either just kicked off the war with the ending of 4, it either was the war, or we prevented the war from happening. And I don't know if I'm confident in which of those it is. Borderlands 5 teased the war. I mean, I think BO4 was supposed to be the war if they kept on track with what BO3 was setting up. Because everything in BO3 points to the war happening almost immediately after its events. Or like soon after its events. And also they themselves were like, BL3 is to set up for the war. BL3 is to expand the universe and get players used to the overall universe and exploring it more to set up for the war. Either BL5 is going to be the war, or the war is never fucking coming and we're actually just going to be strung along forever, and that's going to be the white whale of the series, and it's going to be the thing that keeps everyone still interested. Welcome to the Bad RNG squad. Here's your badge. Gonna stretch that shit till BL9. It was the Iran war. Dude, Randy's on the front fucking lines right now, alright? Randy's out there. He's fucking in that shit. Anyways, I'm gonna go play Fruma shortly. So, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. It took so fucking long to get that, but you guys at least made it entertaining. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, morning, night, whatever what time it may be. If you haven't seen my new video, highly recommend. It's 20 minutes of me kind of recapping and talking about the whole DLC fiasco. I will be having an actual DLC review coming soon. I don't know if that's going to be my next video or if my next video is going to be a build video. We'll see what happens. But yeah, hope to see you fellas in the next one. Bye-bye!